Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of the Essential Zodiac Podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia McNulty.
And I'm Audrey Fannin.
So this episode is a doubleheader, as we will be discussing the Cancer new moon and, very importantly, Venus retrograde. But before that, I wanted to mention to you that Essential Apothecary is up and running. Right now, I have chakra essential oils and zodiac intention bottles, and they're all created by yours truly. You can find the link on the welcome page of my website. And last, but certainly not least, Essential Zodiac will be celebrating 10 years of explaining our crazy universe to all of you in August. So I really appreciate all your wonderful support and encouragement, because we would have never made it 10 years without all of you out there, and I so appreciate it. So as a thank you, for the entire month of August, everything I offer will be discounted 10%. Also, there will be other specials throughout the month, so check my website and Essential Zodiac's Facebook page for updates. Now, first we're going to talk about the new moon in Cancer. The new moon will take place on July 17th. And when we are under the influence of the Cancer moon, we will feel a little bit more tender and more vulnerable than we do at other times. You know, Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is very nurturing. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. So the moon is at home in Cancer. So it operates as it should. You'll have the urge to put up stronger walls between you and others in order to protect yourself. This is one of Cancer's tricks, living behind your castle walls so you can feel safe. If you think about the symbol, Cancer, the crab, you know, the crab has a hard exterior, except for the underbelly. The underbelly of the crab is very soft. So it's got that hard exterior protecting that soft underbelly. So Cancer people can appear, very meek until you threaten those that they love, friends and family. Then they can get quite defensive and, just like a crab, pinch you. So you want to be careful. So during the moon in Cancer's transit, you'll feel more protective, not only over yourself, but for those that you love. So Cancer is a sign of mothering energy. So during this moon, you'll feel a stronger urge to nurture and care for everyone as if everyone was one of your children. One thing you do want to do, and I'm kind of guilty of this too, is you don't want to mother adults too much, because they can kind of get a little bit insulted, that they can take care of themselves. So you want to show care and concern, but you want to do it subtly. So also domestic matters will feel more important than usual. And you will find yourself wanting to be at home, surrounded by your loved ones. This is a great time to invite people over to share stories over a meal or gather friends, and have a game night. Now, emotions will be heightened during the Cancer moon, and it's easy to become moody if you don't express how you're feeling. So this is the downside of the Cancer energy. Cancer can be very moody. Most of the water signs can be. So that's something that you want to watch out for if you're prone to moodiness yourself. During the Cancer new moon, you might find that it's doubled. So you want to take care of that, and you want to not lapse into it. You'll have an easier time tuning into your emotional needs, however, giving you a better understanding of what you need in life to feel satisfied. So as I said, this year, the new moon in Cancer is on the 17th. Remember, new moons are all about new growth and the beginning of new cycles. Cancer likes to protect itself by holding things in. So during the Cancer new moon, we want to think about planting the metaphorical seeds we've kept hidden. Maybe there's something that you put aside or you're like, oh, no, I don't know if I could really pull that off. Take them out. Take a look at it. This is the time to maybe go forward with those plans. However, this doesn't mean we need to announce our plans to everyone if we don't want to. It just means we need to finally bring those seeds out of hiding and sow them with intention. There is still time to manifest them before the harvest season. Because this new moon is opposite Pluto, we should watch out for overdoing, paranoid, or fear-driven actions. We might face outside resistance or obstacles that propel our need to start fresh. This new moon harmonizes with Neptune, and our inspiration supports our efforts to begin anew. So we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we will be discussing the retrograde of Venus.
Visit EssentialZodiac.com to check out the Essential Apothecary with chakra oils and zodiac intention bottles. While you're on the site, be sure to sign up for Cindy's monthly Skywatch journal for timely astrological updates delivered directly to your email inbox. Back to you, Cindy.
Thanks, Audrey. So, right now, we have Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune all retrograde. Venus will be joining that group on July 22nd. Now, on that same day, the sun moves into Leo as well. So Venus is retrograde in Leo. It will remain in retrograde orbit until September 3rd. So as the ruler of pleasure, love, and relationships, Venus has a big job in astrology, helping us attract what we most desire. When Venus is direct in Leo, a furor for living life to its fullest is our MO. However, when Venus is retrograde in Leo, just as explosive are the dramas we can expect to experience. After all, Venus, in the bold sign of the lion, does everything loud and big. So, as the only sign ruled by the sun, Leo is all about creative self-expression and the passions that drive us. Venus retrograde in Leo, in the heart of the summer, is bound to feel like our inner fire has somewhat extinguished. At times, we will feel like our creativity has dried out with no sign of return. Don't worry, it will, but it will have a very different flavor to it. This retrograde is all about dancing to the rhythms of new melodies and finding new awareness and ways to express ourselves. Now, one of the, attributes we could call it, when Venus is retrograde, is people from our past will return, usually in the form of old flames and lovers. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll show up on your doorstep, but what it does mean is you'll hear news about them, or, somehow, they'll maybe friend you on Facebook or something like that. And of course, it's up to you, how much you want to pursue, rekindling that particular flame. Every time Venus is retrograde, an old flame reaches out to me on Facebook. And every time I tell him thanks, but no thanks, very strongly. But so every 2 to 3 years he shows up. So, be prepared just in case. Now, also, since Venus also happens to rule money, do expect finances to be up and down this summer. Burning cash on extravagant dinners and outings could easily end up in big next day hangovers. So avoid buying a round of shots or picking up the bill on Friday happy hours, because eventually those credit card bills will be coming due and then you'll be in a panic. This retrograde will be most intense. Oh, Audrey, this is us. Okay. The retrograde will be most intense for Taurus and Leo. Venus rules Taurus, and of course the sun rules Leo, and I'm Leo, so Audrey and I are going to have a very intense time of it till September 3rd.
We'll just have to tough it out together.
Yes, we'll tough it out together. Lots of chocolate and wine.
Excellent.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
That's always the solution somehow.
There we go. There we go. So not to worry. Not to worry. We'll handle it. So where our intensity is going to end up is challenges to the stability of relationships, as previously repressed feelings are unleashed. So I look at it this way, and I'm also reminding myself of this. If you've been harboring a grudge, or if you've been harboring ill feelings against a friend or somebody, it doesn't have to be your romantic partner. Venus is about romantic partners, but it's all about partners and friendships and things like that. So if they've done something and you're harboring a grudge or ill feelings, it may come out now during the retrograde, and maybe it's not in the way that you would want it to come out. So my thought here is, if there is something like that in your life, you might want to take care of that before July 22nd, because after that, Venus will be no problem. I'll take care of it for you. And Venus in Leo retrograde, you'll bite the person's head off. And you won't feel bad about it until September 3rd. So, you might want to take a break and either, confront the person or decide it's not worth it and just put it to bed.
As you said, loud and big.
Loud and big. That is Leo.
Take care of it now.
That is yes, that is us. So also, embracing freedom and spontaneity will be the antidote for them. Now, also, in addition to Taurus and Leo, Libra will also be influenced by Venus retrograde because Venus rules Libra as well. Now, we're all going to be affected by the retrograde in one way or the other, but here is where they'll feel it most intense. And also for my fellow fire signs, Venus retrograde will force them to stop and smell the roses. It's like a cosmic pause button. Fire signs were go, go, go. So during the summer, it'll give us a chance to slow down and enjoy the life around us. So now I have some Venus retrograde horoscopes for you all. Okay, so Aries. Since this retrograde is affecting your house of creativity, love, and children, this may be a good time to consider how you approach dating if you're currently single and open to meeting new potential partners. It may also be a time to explore your childhood in a new light. You may be reevaluating the perspective you had on a relationship when you were a child. And then Taurus. This retrograde will affect your house of home and family, asking you to reevaluate your family relationships. Additionally, since Venus is all about beautiful presentation, you might consider giving your home a facelift or exploring a few simple redecorating ideas. Gemini. Since Venus is hitting your house of communication and nerves, it is an important time for you to really share your feelings. Venus retrograde is about relationships, right? You may have some important conversations come up in your relationships about feeling free to speak and express your authentic truth. Cancer. With this transit occurring in your house of finances and body, it is likely that you'll need to reevaluate your relationship to money. This includes straightening out your priorities, studying your relationship between money and happiness, and more. Leo. Venus retrograde will highlight your house of identity and ego. This includes topics such as personality, looks, authenticity, and self-image. Not only will you be thinking about what you value in relationships, but you might also want to consider which parts of your look are working for you and which parts aren't. Virgo. Activating your house of dreams, subconscious, and hidden desires, this retrograde is bound to make relationships a little more confusing for you. You're likely going to feel as though you have even less clarity around your partnership right now. Have no fear. Clarity will come after the retrograde. Trust your intuition in the meantime.
That's a message we all need to hear from time to time.
Yeah, I think so. And one thing, too, I'm glad you said that, Audrey, because it made me think of something else. While you're in the retrograde and you are evaluating all of your relationships, do evaluate them, do think about them, but don't make any kind of permanent decision until after Venus has gone direct. Now, I'm not saying those feelings will go away, but you might find some reevaluation is needed, unless, of course, you're facing a, dangerous or toxic situation, and then, you must get out as soon as you possibly can. But, if you're thinking of making some permanent changes in your relationships, like I said, definitely, reevaluate them, look at them, and decide what you want, but make your move after September 3rd. So now Libra. With this retrograde highlighting your house of social circles and community, you might be identifying ways you conform to certain people or groups, such as people-pleasing, showing up unauthentically, or hiding parts of yourself to fit in. It's a great time to remind yourself of who you are today and how to express the real you with more intention to the friends and loved ones who truly matter the most to you. Scorpio. With the retrograde hitting your house of career and legacy, you're reevaluating your efforts at work. Have you been overworking? Is it time to ask for a raise? Right now is a time to reflect on those answers, encouraging you to finally express your demands after the retrograde is over. Sagittarius. This transit will activate your house of inspiration and new journeys. Now is a great time to consider how certain relationships, romantic or otherwise, might make you feel trapped. If you find yourself tiptoeing around a certain person, you might want to let them go during this retrograde. Capricorn. This retrograde is traveling through your house of contracts and psychology. It's priming you for a deep dive into the ways in which you experience toxicity in your love and money. For example, maybe you are still clinging to a destructive ex. Ask yourself, which bonds are unhealthy for me to keep around? It may be just the right time to do some deep shadow work in order to be your most creative, bold, magnetic self. Aquarius. Hitting your house of relationships and marriage, this Venus retrograde couldn't be more about partnerships for you. It's encouraging you to understand your relationships on a deeper level. Be gentle with yourself and those you are in connection with, but try to see things as they really are. Pisces. This retrograde is traveling through your house of wellness and health. It's a great opportunity to think about how you receive compliments, money, or words of affection in your day-to-day life. Do you welcome them with open arms, or is there room for improvement? Consider ways to receive the gratitude and appreciation people show you. And we all deserve that. We all deserve love and compliments. But that ends today's episode. Our next episode is about the full moon in Aquarius, and that episode will air on July 28th. You're going to want to tune in for that. And remember, with astrology, you could chart your life's course.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Essential Zodiac Podcast. We have new episodes for you every other Friday with special episodes from time to time. You can follow Essential Zodiac on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Cynthia McNulty on YouTube. Please follow, like, and comment while you're there, and we hope you'll share this podcast with your friends and family. And of course, visit EssentialZodiac.com to check out the new Essential Apothecary with chakra oils and zodiac intention bottles. The Essential Zodiac Podcast is produced at Muddy Creek Studios.